What is up, NFL fans? It's your boy Kevin Phillip Fox with the Legit Football NFL podcast, and it's the dog days of summer. Y'all know what it is. We're scrapping and clawing for content. We gave you songs to describe teams off season last week, which is always a fun one. This week, it's a lot better because not only do I have, I'll bring him in first, my partner, Adrian Revito from Down Under. Adrian, how the hell are you, first and foremost?
It is the dog days of winter for me. So if you think you got it tough, listeners, understand that it's worse here in Australia. Animals trying to kill me, cold weather, that's what it is.
That's actually true. Kangaroos breaking into your house, drop kicking you.
It's fitting for this episode because it makes me a little mad.
Makes you a little mad.
Sad.
It's an emotional roller coaster today, and you guys are going to find out what that means in a little bit. But I did tease some awesome news, and a reason why this episode would be leaps and bounds better than the last handful, like really immeasurably better.
Right in the heart.
Because we have our boy Jimmy Ray from NFL Stats, the regal music to play him in. There's no other way.
Can I put
We're
the crown
back,
on his
baby.
head?
Yeah, can we? Can we do that?
I'm just gonna
We
pause
need
that
it.
music
We need
because it goes forever.
How are you guys doing?
Dude, freaking good, man. It's not the same without you.
I
We
know.
missed you, man.
No, it's actually a lot better without you. But
What?
um,
Wow. I heard.
No, but-
I don't know. The kangaroos sound scary.
yeah, that's tough. That's
What's
the
going
tough
on with
part.
that?
You
We just
should've
have
seen
mice
it.
and insects over here in Indiana. So
We had like
You-
an actual kangaroo on the pod last week. It was crazy.
did
dude.
you really?
Yeah, it was insane.
Did you call him?
You know the
Jimmy
only thing.
too?
You know what you guys have that's scarier than kangaroos, though. I will say this: is you got ticks. We don't deal with ticks here.
Have you seen earthquakes, bro?
That's fair.
Earthquakes are
That's
not
fair.
great either. I don't love
Yeah, we
earthquakes.
also
I haven't
don't
seen
get that.
earthquakes, no.
Yo, this focus is trash. Anyways, boys, we got Armand in the chat. We got Titan Maximum in the chat. First and foremost, I'm gonna do my own scab producing because I have a feeling that the lead topic of the show is going to be that Brinks truck that we talked about last week. I just assumed. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're probably right. Tell me.
Well, we talked a little bit about maybe how one Brinks truck wouldn't be enough for Justin Jefferson's contract.
Oh, look at
Look
that.
at that. I just had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I see that. That's how you know we build the plane as we fly it, because we both wanted to talk about the same thing to start the show, and I didn't know we were talking about it. So let's go. First and foremost, Jimmy Ray, did you think this was going to happen? We both were pretty sure that that he would break the bank. Did you think that was going to happen?
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. I feel like. I mean, the Vikings don't have many things to hang their hat on, but their wide receivers right now are absolutely tremendous, and you have to break the bank for them before it's too late. So. This is
Yeah.
the best time to do it, honestly. It's only going to get more expensive for the next wide receiver anyways. But so in a year, this is probably going to be a deal. But for now, it's like, $35 million a year over 4 years.
Pushing
So it's
40, I
absolutely so most ever for a non-quarterback in NFL history. But like I said, that record breaks all of the time. I think Micah Parsons is looking to break that next. So we'll see how that goes.
CeeDee Lamb.
think. It's
CD
pretty,
Lamb for sure. We'll see if he breaks it. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It's pretty gaudy. I think that's the first word I'll use to describe it. It's gaudy. It's
But for the older people in the room, now I obviously know what gaudy means, but just in case others don't, why don't you just say what it means out loud?
Godlike.
In case others don't.
I think gaudy is like
I don't
abhorrent. It's like extreme. It's like
the kids say
Oh.
it, so I can say it too.
I actually think gaudy is an older person saying. No, that's like a recognized. That's like a Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, it's
dictionary.
not used much anymore.
Adrian.
As in GOTTI or GAUD? Like how we talk.
I don't know.
Gaudy,
You know
like
what?
I don't.
Maybe
I don't
it's an
actually-
American thing. Maybe
I
it's
might
an
have to
American
look it up because I think it's a thing. I think it's just a normal thing. Adrian,
thing. I'm not
Adrian
normal.
just so badly wants to be the old guy. He's like, oh, I don't know what that means. You know?
Even your camera knows you're talking
Yeah,
smack
this
'cause they
focus
put you out
is
of focus.
trash, bro. What is good with that, dude? What is good with that?
Your focus is gaudy, right? Is that
My
right?
focus
I don't
is
know.
gaudy.
Is
No.
it? Is that right?
No. So actually, I really wanted to talk to you both about this because Adrian and I had a discussion. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. Jimmy, I'm on the record, and I'll stand by this. If I was running the Vikings, I don't know if I would have given him that deal. And I know that it's. I get why you don't let a player like Justin Jefferson out of the building. I understand the logic, but they have so many needs and they have to get better as a team, and to allocate that much money to a wide receiver one, it's not, I don't think it's the responsible financial approach anymore. I think Moneyball approach at the wide receiver position is taking over the NFL. And if I was a GM right now, I would be trying to replace Justin Jefferson in the aggregate, to quote the film, if you guys are familiar with it.
Can I make one point though that might change your mind? And I hear your point on that because it is a lot of money to be paying. But as far as cap hit goes, the way they've structured the deal, it's going to be 15 million. No, sorry, 8 million instead of 19 this coming year. So his rookie deal had a 19.7 cap hit. It's now going to be 8.5. 2025 is going to be 15.3, and then it jumps up to 39 and 26 and beyond there. So like if you restructure his deal as you get closer to there, for the first couple of years, it's really not hitting you that hard. Where that does become a problem is if JJ McCarthy is a star and they've got to sign them both to record deals come 2026 or 2027. That's where it'll be an issue. But by then, the cap is going to be higher. So this cap hit now is like pretty manageable, and it's going to be higher come 2026 because the cap is always going up. So I hear your point because it is a lot of money, but I think the way they've structured it's quite team friendly.
I think it's just more responsible in today's NFL to stockpile assets and then fight for the rest of it later, as opposed to sinking all your assets into one position like a wide receiver, which is a dependent position. The wide receiver is dependent on the quarterback play. The quarterback play is dependent on the O-line. So the wide receiver really has a long list of things that it depends on for it to truly be impactful to the game. And we see that when great wide receivers have bad seasons because their quarterbacks suck or their lines suck.
Yeah, I just feel like whatever you trade for just won't accumulate to anything that you could possibly get with having Justin Jefferson on your team. Like if you look at the alternatives, even like maybe not from a practical standpoint, like sure, like you can get the draft picks and stuff, maybe get a younger guy in there. There's no telling if he'll be Justin Jefferson, one, and then two, from a fan's point of view, they traded Stephon Diggs a while back.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Stephon Diggs was when that happened, but doing that again with someone who in a lot of ways is significantly more he's been more productive since Stephon Diggs.
For
and
sure.
That says a lot already.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs is really good. So I just feel like you have to make this happen. Like whatever you trade for would never be worth it. Nobody's going to pay whatever he's worth. That's a fact. You're not going to let him walk after this year. So I just feel like whether it's practical or not, from a practicality standpoint, if you think draft picks would make up for it, which I don't think necessarily would, but it is a lot of money. So I see what you're saying, but the money's only going up anyways. You can maneuver that. Look at the
stats. And Adrian did a good job highlighting the maneuverability of his contract. I think that helps me stomach it a little bit. And Jimmy, you make a great point that you're probably not going to accrue anything close to the value of Justin Jefferson in a trade with Justin Jefferson. So I understand the logic. I definitely, I just think like, and you guys played Dynasty fantasy football with me. I'm a big like assets. I try to stack and stockpile assets, and you know, sometimes it's your time. Sometimes it's your time to go out and take the big swing, and the Vikings are doing that with this. And to address it in the chat, because we've had a lot of CeeDee Lamb comments, predictions right now from both of you. Does CeeDee Lamb get?
How's that for
what? Oh, you already had it. Look at that.
Yeah.
We're just dialed in, man. We're
in lockstep. I love it.
In the off season. Do we see CeeDee Lamb come close to the contract, a similar or equal deal, or do we see CeeDee Lamb even push the ceiling higher?
What did Amon-Ra get? Was it 30 mil a year?
I think
32,
so.
I think.
Like 4 years, 120, something like that.
All in that, yeah, it's all in that range.
Sorry,
Okay.
it is 30 mil. You're correct.
It was 30 mil. Okay,
Yeah.
so
And AJ Brown was 32.
See, AJ Brown was 32. I maybe give him like 31. I don't know. I mean, 20. That's so hard, but
It's
you know what's funny?
you're gonna have to pay him at least 30. Or
he looked like the
he's gonna
best
go
receiver in the NFL last season. He really did. I know
Yeah.
Jefferson didn't. You know, he had poo-poo quarterback play. He was banged up. CeeDee Lamb looked like the best wide receiver in the NFL last year. He really did. I don't think that can even be.
I think he's going to beat this deal. Can I just say? I know that I don't know
Bold
if he's
prediction.
worth more than JJF, but I think the way these deals work is they tend to just get like you're the most paid player in the league for about 3.5 seconds.
It's a headline. It's for sure.
And sometimes even when you look into the deals of the contract, like you're the most paid player on paper, but I mean, what was that ridiculous number Taysom Hill was getting on paper, which he didn't get a cent of? So I'm not saying that's the way this is going to go. I think Lamb is going to break the market again because that's just the way these things work.
Yeah.
It might not just because they're so close together because Lamb's holding out now as the headline was about Lamb holding out a mini camp.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to break it. And not
it's
by a lot.
I could see it.
Or close, like 30, 34 and a half. Like he'll be the second most paid, second highest non-quarterback.
It wouldn't shock me. I think it would be a mistake by Dallas, just like I think it's a mistake by Minnesota. And I acknowledge that I'm taking this is a little bit of a devil's advocate, like contrarian approach. Like you guys know, I tried to trade in our mock. I tried to trade 4 freaking premium draft assets for 1 player, Rome Odunze. Like, yeah, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but I look at the way that teams are winning the Super Bowl now, and it's not by paying wide receiver ones, and it's not by having 2 great wide receivers on your team either.
It's a very fair point. I think, look, the hard part is, right, is you let them go, sort of as Jimmy said, and how do you replace them? Lamb is in a much harder spot because they're already paying so many other assets. Michael Parsons deal's coming up, whereas the Vikings don't really have any other superstars. Neil Hunter out of the building, their quarterback Sam Darnold, and
it's a really good point. It's a really good point, honestly. Like, and I you know what, Jimmy, you talked about the business side of it, and I don't think about that, right? Like, they got to sell tickets. Like that team, they got a new quarterback. They have one of the best, most exciting young players in NFL history. They gotta keep him around. They gotta keep him in the building for the sake of creating revenue to keep the team afloat. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
Yeah, 2 things real quick too. So going back to the Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, if JJ McCarthy does work out, then you have like if it takes a year, maybe 2, you still have Justin Jefferson for a couple more years. Plus, you can start filling in that roster, and then next thing you know, like 3 years from now, hey, they have 1 year left on Justin Jefferson. Let's get this. Like, they could be contenders in some capacity. I mean, it all revolves around the quarterback at the end of the day. Like you said, like teams winning the Super Bowl, it all comes down to that, and then you make roster moves based around that. But you keep your superstars, and then CeeDee Lamb. I think what Adrian mentioned about like the optics point of view is like it's going to keep breaking the bank. You want to do that for your next guy up too. Like it's kind of an NFL community at the end of the day. So people love seeing other people get paid because they know if they can like perform, then they'll make more than the next guy. Like I'm sure the NFLPA wants them to like hold out and make more money than the next guy. Just keep increasing for them.
It's just going to get so, and we'll bring it word of the day. It's just going to get gaudy.
Gaudy, man.
At a certain point,
whatever it means, we need a definition.
I cannot believe. Yeah, exactly. I just can't believe how out of control. Like, and I think this might be. Well, let's touch on Brandon Ayuk first before we transition to the main topic. Jimmy, you got your finger on the pulse. You got your sources, right? Jimmy's sort of like it goes Schefter, Armand, and then Jimmy in terms of like breaking NFL news, right? Like, so Jimmy,
that's how the community sees it. For sure.
That's the hierarchy. Mm-hmm. What's the temperature on Brandon Ayuk and his contract? And are the 49ers going to pay him? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to trade Debo in lieu of trading Ayuk? Give me the rundown on the 49ers and the money, because McCaffrey just got paid. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah,
I appreciate you hyping me up so much so we can come back to this clip no matter what happens.
Oh yeah.
Or we won't come back to this. Just delete it.
You're going to get it right.
Correct.
It's
still 50-50, but in my opinion, I feel like the bet is to put J. Ray ahead of me. Come on, Armand. Don't do that.
Wait, Jimmy, do you like Armand's new profile picture? We've been laughing at it every week.
What does it say along the bottom?
I think it says, I'm not going to read it. Yeah, family friendly, so can't read it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, Armand, I respect it. No, but I'll go. They're going to trade Debo and end up paying Brandon Ayuk and going that route. Just going the younger route, I think is usually the bet to go with. I don't think they're going to end up keeping both. So we'll see where that takes us. I have so many sources, and they're all not telling me anything, So even the tight-lipped here, I don't know why, but maybe it's just the off season. They want to kind of hold out because there's a lot of time left before the season starts, whether we like it or not. So there's a lot of chess pieces to be made in these contract extensions, non-contract extensions, all of that. But all it takes is one day. I mean, So we'll see. We saw Shams get absolutely roasted by Woj with the Dan Hurley news. So so we'll see.
If it's me, I would probably let Debo walk or trade him and try to recoup some assets, get your younger guys some minutes. I like the Pearsall pick a lot. I think you start throwing Pearsall some looks that you would have thrown Debo. Maybe get George Kittle back more into the involvement that he had a handful of years ago. I think Debo's inconsistent health and spotty production profile at times make him the most expendable of the arsenal, in my opinion. So I understand wanting to run it back. I understand wanting to keep everybody together for one more year, last dance it. But the Purdy deal is right around the corner. The Ayuk deal is right around the corner. I just don't think it's worth it to eat the Debo value and not get something back for it. Yeah, Adrian, go ahead.
Can I counter that?
Yeah, of course.
I just checked over the cap. Yeah, all right. I'm just gonna shut up.
No, you're not allowed. Yeah.
Ever the contrarian. Over the cap has the 49ers at 32.5 mil cap space this year. So they've got the cap space to sign Ayuk. To me, it wouldn't make sense to trade Debo unless you were going to do it before the draft. Like, if you're going to trade him now, what are you going to get? 20, 25 picks? You may as well keep him for the season. You've got the money to do that, and then trade him coming closer to the draft. Because if you're going to keep Ayuk either way, it would be different if it was Debo's contract time. I think if it was Debo contract time, they'd send him out the door. But
sure,
it makes sense to pay Ayuk, however you want to pronounce it, and then keep them in the room, keep the band back together, as you said, last answer, and then send Debo out of there. Is the Purdy deal this year or is it next year?
I think it's quicker because he was a 7th round pick, right? I think he's
he doesn't.
I think this might be. I think he might have. This might be a contract year for him.
Oh well, then that might change things.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Jimmy. That's your territory. But it looks like we got 2 people on it, so it's a race. This is a Shams and Wojaf.
Geez. Yeah, he has one more. 2025 he's signed, and then 2026 he's a UFA.
Okay, so it's really interesting. Yep.
He'll be looking next year.
Purdy deal's expected after the season, and Titan Maximum thinks along the lines of Adrian.
I agree.
Last dance it. I hear you, but here's what I think. And Jimmy, actually, before I counter, Jimmy, why don't you share your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that keeping Debo doesn't really hurt, but I also feel like trading him might not be too big of a I don't want to say it won't like completely falter the 49ers as a whole, but
yeah,
I think you got to sell early. I mean, we talked about this in like dynasty fantasy football, but this is obviously not fantasy football, so
right.
I wouldn't fault them for keeping Debo another year and just running it back and seeing what happens. But I think there's a lot of turmoil already, so you have to think about those emotions and stuff. I'm not saying. I mean, is there? We'll see. Is that all rumors and speculation? Perhaps. But if there is actually some sort of turmoil with both those wide receivers, maybe you let one go. But
yeah,
I don't hate it.
I think you definitely don't fault them for wanting to keep him because their formula has proven to be successful. But let's take what you get back for Debo out of the equation. Obviously, you'll get something great. Probably a 2nd round pick at the least, but probably more, right? Like you'll probably get some assets. Diggs just went for a 2nd round pick. You know what I mean? And Debo's younger and theoretically has a higher ceiling. A little less availability, a little less consistent at times in his career. But take that out of the equation. You have diminishing returns when an expiring asset is there. That means your guys underneath him aren't getting as many looks or touches or opportunities to get better. And then the year after, when a guy like Pearsall is thrust into a bigger role, he might be less prepared for it because he didn't have the reps the year prior. So, and this is a little bit like Madden mindset. Like me personally, if I have let's say a 22-year-old, 78 overall and a 28-year-old 81 overall, but the 78-year-old overall will develop faster and will get better if I give him opportunities. I'm inclined to go with the younger guy sooner so that he could, by the end of the season, be an 81 overall. And then, boom, he's replaced him and he has a younger, better contract. Madden logic again, pardon me, but you guys see what I'm saying? You guys see
how much does it hurt to see JSN on the Seahawks then? Because I feel like it's a similar situation because they like to run the ball and then they have 2 top-notch receivers.
And they extended Lockett.
Too. Yeah, so JSN's still down there, so will he get enough reps to even be considered a bust or not a bust.
You got to hope he improves.
Will he ever get that?
This year.
Will he ever get that Madden development from the bench? You know, in Madden, if they don't play, their overall doesn't increase.
I've always said coaches don't play enough Madden. I feel like that is the key issue. With
so true. LeBron James plays more 2K. He says LeBron James says he like studies formations and defense and plays from 2K. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's
look at the development traits on Madden. And
literally,
that's JSN has probably a superstar, and he's on the bench right now. Get him some reps, and he'll develop quicker because he's that guy.
You understand?
He's that dude.
See, thank
Madden
you.
also sucks, so that's
it's trash. It's so trash, but I still pour money into it and I pour time into it. So, admittedly,
Madden cover coming
I'm part
soon.
of the problem. It's. But in the comments, if anyone plays Madden, you know, Titan Maximum, Armand, who, by the way, the most stable and consistent of the legit football listeners right now, Armand and Titan Maximum, they are dialed in weekly.
Retire their jerseys.
We cannot thank you guys enough for being here. Anyone have anything else to say on everything leading up to our emotional roller coaster main segment?
I'm just going to put a bow on it that I say, so to the point that they're making in the chat saying trade Debo for a player. I agree with this. Super Bowl window, Debo had over 1,100 yards from scrimmage last year. If you get rid of him, I hear every point you're making. Every point you're making about building up and Pearson needs reps, and I do hear all that. But at the end of the day, is the team better without Debo? And I think the answer is no this year. And they're in a tight window, especially if they're going to pay Purdy next year. They pay Purdy next year. We know how this sort of works. You pay the contract, the massive contract to the QB. You've got to start shedding assets, and you tend to drop off a little bit, at least until you balance that out. I think they keep him this year because I think it doesn't make sense. Unless you're going to get a player that makes you as good.
Finding the middle ground too, you want to get enough assets to make it worth it too. So I see what you're saying. You if there's not a suitor, then you just might want to let it ride. So we don't know what the market is. We're not getting those phone calls. At least you guys aren't. So let's go ahead and move on.
Guys, I'm sorry, but like, man, they got to pay the piper, man. It's right around the corner. You swallow a year of Debo and you don't get a pick back for him, then you're not going to get younger and cheaper.
But like, what's the lowest pick you would take for him? Because like, there's got to be somewhere you'd be like, no, I'll just.
I would probably, from a bad team, I would probably take a 2025 second.
I don't reckon you get it.
Oh, I think you could
honestly.
Get it.
I think weirdly, I feel like when we expect people to go for, didn't Devontae Adams go for a second?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
You're right.
Wide receiver trades.
You're gonna have to resign him though too. You have to understand. You're gonna have to pay him.
Didn't Amari Cooper go for like a fifth?
Yeah.
Wide receiver deals are.
And they paid him.
Claypool went for a second. You know, you can't. Wide receiver contracts or trades are just. They're just.
Yeah, it was more of like a first because it was like the 32nd overall, but it was like.
They're fallacies, bro.
Dolphins cheat. Yeah.
Yes. I remember that now.
If you forgot about that, shut up.
Anyways, guys, no, please remind everybody how the Dolphins cheat. The Patriots also cheat.
Remind me next week too.
Yeah, I don't. Do the Jets cheat, Armand? Let us know in the comments. I think the Jets
don't.
Jets, Bills, Colts, Packers. We're all clear, baby.
Yeah, we just call out the cheaters, man. Come on.
Exactly. Anyways, guys. Titans don't cheat either. I mean, they were a little iffy during the COVID times.
They sucked too bad.
They broke a lot of the COVID protocol rules. You guys remember that?
Good times.
I don't.
We had to play Buffalo had to play a Tuesday game against the Titans because they kept all their players were breaking protocols.
Now we're playing Tuesday games for fun, man.
Yeah, I know. Now
we're playing every day. Like the Chiefs are playing every day of the week for no reason.
Dude, insane. Okay, guys, holy crap, we're here. What a discussion so far. What a spirited discussion. Adrian Revito, Scab producer, Scab's ripped off healed.
Too loud.
That's the roller coaster.
That's our roller coaster.
Adrian came up with this, and it's a really fun idea. But he at first wanted us to vent about what's making us mad about the NFL right now.
That's my.
Are you okay, Adrian?
Yeah.
That's who I am as a person. But Kevin
is everything good at home? Do you want to? Do you need to talk?
Therapy session after this podcast, right?
Yeah.
It all started with my childhood, guys. No.
Oh my gosh.
So I said there's a lot of things in the NFL that make me mad, and trust me, I can fill an hour about it. Oh, Titan Maximum says, "What grinds my gears?" That's a great way to put it.
That's exactly right. This is a what grinds my gears.
Great way to put it. However, I personally, my gears are quite grinded, but I also have some ungrinded gears. I love the NFL, and there's a lot of things about the NFL that make me really happy. So I suggested we do both. So, Adrian, very creatively in the way that he does, turned it into the emotional roller coaster. And I have a lot of things for both. I think you guys should go first because you guys know at the end of the show, I'll just empty the clip. Whatever we don't say,
I got a
just-
clip too,
yeah.
so we'll
y'all
see what
already know.
happens.
So, Adrian, this was your idea. So why don't you kick us off with a mad thing because that's why you wanted to talk about it in the first place.
I am so angry.
I like
hear
that.
you.
Who is that? Who is
Who
that?
is
That is the great work of freesound.org with their royalty-free sound drops.
I love
Okay.
royalty free. Love that.
Yeah. So whoever that
Hope
person
that woman
is,
got paid
shout
for
out.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My first mad one. No, it's funny because I've got a bit of a clip, but they seem to all be mad, which probably says more about me than it does the exercise. So let's start with this one. Every off season, and because we're in the off season, I'm talking about it. Every off season, we have this discussion about an alternate to the onside kick because the onside kick, let's face it, just seems like a nothing play.
It's
compared
trash.
to what 3%, something like
It's trash.
that. And I'm just so sick of it because like they've got an alternate that works well. The XFL posed that alternate kick where you get I think it's a 4th and 15, and it converts slightly higher. It's more exciting. Like just give us that. Yeah, Armand.
You know,
I
Armand
don't think
needs
she
God.
says that.
Armand, I'm going to refer you to a really good Catholic priest in your area.
Get some holy water on you immediately.
Just go ahead, Adrian. Sorry.
Just I just that really tilts me every year. I get excited. I'm like, maybe this is the year. This is the year they're going to learn from their mistakes and get rid of the onside kick, and they have not. And that makes me mad.
You know
Get
what?
'em.
That's a good
Yeah.
one, Adrian. That's a really good one, man. Because what a nothing burger. What a nothing burger we get when it's a 2-score game and there's less than 2 minutes. The game's over. Why
Totally.
do we even care? Look, I get that sometimes, like, I think there was like what? Didn't the Browns do it against the Jets?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
or was it the
happened.
Jets against the Browns? Flacco played for one of them. Flacco played for both of them, so I don't know what year this was, but
Elite.
the Browns were down by like 12 points, or maybe it was 21 points or something really late, and they got, or maybe it was the Jets. I remember Flacco was the QB, I think, and they got a bunch. I think they might have gotten 2. But other
Could be
than that,
right.
I can't think of another game where the onside kick mattered because it's a nothing burger. It's impossible for the kicking team to recover it. You can't have a running head start. You can't touch the ball in the first 10 yards. Basically, you have to hope somebody drops the ball. And with hands teams, it doesn't really happen that often. And when it does happen, you can just bat it out of bounds. It's
And
so
you know-
stupid.
What's even stupider is like when the game's on the line. It's like you said, 2 scores down, 2 minutes to go. The game is on the line. It's like let's put that in the hands of the special teams instead of your offense. What team has? When is the last time you're like, oh man, this team sucks, but their special teams rocks? Like who cares, mate?
It's so
Get onto the
stupid.
offense
Come on,
and
mate.
get the ball in their hand, mate. The
I
bad news for
don't.
you, mate.
Do you guys say rate in Australia? Like, do you say like I don't rate that?
Yeah, totally. We had this discussion because you
Yes.
said you had a London friend.
Yeah, my British friend says that. I don't rate onside kicks.
No, ditto.
0.
And that makes me mad.
Yeah, thank you. That was spirited.
That was beautiful. That makes us all mad.
That's an age bomb right there. Can't call it an A bomb. That's already trademarked by Armand.
Stolen, yeah.
Jimmy, why don't you tell us what makes you mad?
Can I just do a reverse because we're on the kind of topic of something that makes me happy? Can I go
Yeah,
happy here?
yeah, let's
'Cause
do that.
It's
Yeah,
kind of on the same
We
topic.
all have really bad ADD. Let's just do it.
Okay. Well, this.
That's
there we
right.
go. There we go.
I've got a
Jimmy
mad,
was
glad, and sad
legitimately
sound.
scared by that drop.
I was like, what?
Mad, glad, and
Every
sad
drop,
drop.
I'm never ready for it. So what makes me happy, and you'll understand why I'm saying this after that conversation, is the new kickoff rules. So obviously we're talking about like special teams
Party.
stuff, how we don't want to see them at the end of the game. But the good thing is I think the kickoff is going to be, I already forget all the new rules. I know I explained them to you guys like 18 months ago, but we're going to have to go through it again. But seeing guys like Justin Reed talking about it, how he potentially could get more action because the kicker will be asked to tackle more, I think is huge. And Justin Tucker said he's been in the weight room a little bit more because he's going to be getting ready to do some more tackling.
That's fun.
But also looking at it from your guys' what you guys just talked about too. If it's like a 10-point game, if it's a 2-possession game, kickoffs can go like who knows what's going to happen. We need to see it. I mean, we've probably seen. I haven't really researched it in XFL, but we can see a lot of big plays, big miscues from the kicking team that lead to a lot more just awesome plays overall for their return team. So that's something just to keep in the back of your head for this offseason and coming into this new season that we're going to be seeing that. It's going to be awesome.
Great call, Jimmy. I can't remember in my time being an NFL fan, I started watching every single game when I was like 8 or 9 in 04. I can't remember a change this big that I was this excited for that's going to make football look different. Like straight up. Like I think maybe outside of like more conceptual rule changes like protecting the quarterback, I don't think there's been a bigger
extra
change.
point moving back.
Yeah.
I've thought about that, but
really.
that wasn't fun though. That's just leads to a lot of misses. I love the you can return 2-point conversions for 2 points on defense, but it doesn't really ever happen. It's
enough.
Another exciting thing that's cool, but that's a great pick. And another thing that opens up the door for is like roster construction is going to be different. Those last 6 roster spots, the guys that you save for your 4-phase special teamers, you can't hide bad wide receiver 6s that are small on the back of your depth chart anymore. Everybody's got to tackle. Everybody's got to play. I think a lot of teams will have kickoff specialists, which is something that Rex Ryan tried with the Bills. That was a terrible laughed at move at the time, but I think now kickoff specialist is going to be a thing because Tyler Bass is 5'9", 140. I don't know if that's his actual measurements. Those were joke measurements, but I don't want Tyler Bass out there trying to make kicks or tackles, touchdown saving tackles. Like, get an Australian punter, go over to Adrian's part of town.
We love sending a punter and a kicker over.
It's the best, bro. Bro, kickers, Australian dudes will mess you up.
Oh, hell yeah.
They will mess
Right,
you up.
Adrian? Adrian will.
Yeah.
If you've watched AFL, which is Australian Football League, and I should just bring a clip, not this the tape, like taping everything back now, but it's a brutal sport. It's like no pad. They're in shorts, tiny shorts, and a singlet or tank top, as I've just learned is
So like rugby
an American distinction.
Tiny shorts and a tank top.
And that's it. There's
sounds
no
What are you
helmet.
watching?
Sounds
Yeah.
frisky.
It's like the Foxy Boxy of the man world.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like, and it's just full on tackling, like open field tackling. We had a thing called a hip and shoulder where you just slam into. It's full on. So
That's messed up.
send those guys over for sure.
Yeah. Adrian, any thoughts on the new kickoff thing? Does that make you happy as well? Are you echoing the same
Very
thing?
much so. I think if nothing else comes of this, we're going to stop seeing the game start with the ball being sent out the end zone. Like if nothing else happens from it, it's going to start with a return. And that to me is awesome because, you wait for the game, you finally get there, and then the kick goes at the end. It's like, what a waste of play. Cool, start at the 25-yard line. So I'm excited for it. I think it's a really good call. And I thought about putting it in mind, but I was like, I don't want to go too heavy on the rules. I've got another boring one about analytics. So,
I'm here for you.
All right, guys. I'll tell you what.
Compliment you.
I'll tell you what. My contributions to the emotional roller coaster is actually I have like a whole entire segment planned within the segment. So hear me out for a second, okay, guys? The NFL, being the greatest professional sports league, being the greatest entertainment product in the world, it's a double-edged sword very frequently. And let me tell you guys what makes me happy. How close the NFL is. Let me tell you guys what makes me mad. How far the NFL is. Let me tell you guys what makes me happy. The Buffalo Bills are under the radar. Let me tell you guys what makes me mad. The Buffalo Bills are being doubted. Let me tell you guys what makes me happy. You guys get paid. Let me tell you guys what makes me pissed. Seeing how astronomical these contracts are getting. The NFL is a double-edged sword, and I state my case. I rest my case. Mic drop.
that was a true roller coaster.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to.
Thanks, Mike.
I just emptied the clip. Those were a lot of the points that I had, but I realized that they were all exactly inverse of each other. So I figured I would just get all of it out off my chest first, and then we could talk about all the pieces.
Can we address Jimmy's point there though that you held onto the mic and didn't actually release? So it was like mic drop, but you didn't.
I need to
drop
find
anything.
I don't have a prop mic that I could drop. Like anything I dropped in my studio would be like, oh, Jimmy
Thanks.
really.
Jimmy
Is it
came
good?
prepared.
Are we
Oh,
good? I
hold
heard.
on. Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
we're
we're good. Okay.
good.
That was a bit risky there, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Well, I thought about taking my headphones off and just
Somebody
leaving the
had to
room
do it,
for
man.
the
That
theatrics
was-
of it, but
Just feel
I
like
can
it was all-
flick
yeah.
this down.
yeah.
I like
Adrian-
theatrics, but you gotta be real.
So let's
Committed
talk
to the
about
bit.
it. Let's talk about it, guys. It's so far, but it's so close. right? Like we're right around the corner, but we couldn't be further away. Do you guys feel
It's-
that way too?
Sounds like a shower thought.
Yeah,
It's an
do you-
interesting,
Whoa,
it's an
man.
interesting point though, because like when I first started getting into the NFL as a foreign fan, right?
Yeah,
I used to actually. This should have been something that makes me mad because it still kind of does. Is how the NFL Super Bowl champ is called the world champ. It's like, dude, you haven't beaten the world yet.
yeah.
But the thing is, NFL is I would say arguably the biggest sport in the. No, that's a lie. Soccer. I think soccer
For
as far
sure,
as
soccer's,
international
yeah,
audience.
bigger.
Uh,
Yeah,
let's call it the biggest national sport. So as far as one league in one world in one country, I would say it's got the biggest fan base. Still don't know if that's true, but I get your point. That's to your point is that like I don't know if NFL is the biggest or if it's so far away from being the biggest, but I love it. I love it none like no different.
I just
I just
feel
rambled about nothing for about 4
yeah,
seconds.
actually, literally nothing. But that's okay. You know what? That's what this is for. It's
That's what you've
therapy.
brought out in me with this
No.
this double-edged sword.
No, but here's the thing. We're more than halfway towards the season, right? We're more than halfway.
Oh,
Like,
that's what you meant. Okay,
I didn't
yes,
mean
I
that.
agree.
I don't know what you thought I meant.
I thought you were talking about NFL being so big. It's such because you said it's such a juggernaut and it's so big, but it's not just big enough yet.
No, I was just saying that
It took me a second too.
I love everything about it and I hate everything about it, but literally we're further away from it being gone than from it being here, but it's still like 3 months.
We need a timeline. We need like a physical timeline so we can see.
It's still like 3
How
months
close
away, and just
But I
me
mean, but a
frozen?
month from now is like training camps and practices and things like that. So that's why it feels so close. But
so close.
this time
but it's
frame
so
after the draft to
far.
the season is kind of tough.
It's a slog, and I'm so sad. I just want to watch
I'm not
Josh Allen
crying,
play
you're
football.
crying.
Exactly. Was that Jimmy? He played it
Yeah,
again.
that was me.
That
That wasn't
wasn't
me.
me.
That sounded
Is that
like
is
me.
that royalty-free
You're
sound effect?
crying.
Do it again.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
It sounds
Yo,
like me.
Yo, what is good
It's
with
probably
that,
Jimmy
bro?
esque.
Yo, I'm gonna call the people who produce those sound effects and be like, "Yo, y'all need some new voice actors, man."
Can I be honest with you guys?
Yeah,
I donated my voice about 5 years ago.
yeah. I thought that might have been
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
They kind of
yeah.
sound like
It's
you.
finally come to fruition.
No.
As I'm doing on the
That's what I
podcast
got.
now, I'm donating my voice.
Do you guys feel like your teams are being appropriately rated at this point in the offseason, overrated or underrated? Because I think the Bills are being slept on.
I think we're properly rated, but I think it's more because like we're a mystery.
Yeah.
Like the double-edged sword comes with the Colts too. Like I'm happy to see Anthony Richardson out there, but it also pains me that like the Colts are going through like, is he injured? Is he sitting out a little bit? Well,
That kills me
he's
too.
still he's
my
still
my
dynasty
sadness.
QB.
it.
He's
So-
I need him to be healthy. That's my.
But he was
dynasty quarterback.
practicing to his own rap music today or yesterday.
Oh,
or
that's cool.
this week. So first quarterback ever in history to do that. That's pretty cool.
Jimmy, do you have an extra AC joint you can lend him in Indy? Can you drive over to
Yeah, I don't. I actually live very close to the Colts complex.
Can you
so
give
I
him your
will-
AC joint, please?
Yeah, it took me
Yeah.
like about 10 minutes. I just need a good doctor. Give me like James Andrews or whoever, and we'll make it happen. So the first ever AC joint transplant is in action per sources. So,
Age, how do you feel about the way that people are talking about the Packers right now at this point in the offseason?
I don't know. I'm afraid to get hurt because they're hyped. Like, let's be
Yeah.
honest here. They're hyped. Like, no, they're probably the only team a little bit more hyped would be the Texans.
Yeah.
And you just don't know. Like, what if they regress?
The
And
love
so
for the
I'm afraid to
receiving
get
core
hurt.
is wild right now, dude.
It's actually kind of weird. Like, whilst I agree the receiving core played above expectations last year, and there's some people are sleeping on. Like Dontavian Wicks, I think is going to really break out this year.
That's
but
a good player, man.
yeah, but I just like some people have talked about him like they're a great receiving core. It's like
Like they're
Christian
top
Watson
five.
out. Yeah, which is ridiculous. Christian Watson's out half the time. He's your wide receiver one. Hopefully, he's sort of sorted out his hamstring injuries, but you never know.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs also great wide receiver too. Jaden Reed I think we know what Jaden Reed is at
He's
this
a
point.
dog.
I don't know.
I love Jaden.
Yeah,
Reed.
ditto, love him, but I don't know if he's going to take that next step. I think he is who we've seen him be so far.
Yeah, it's hard to say. He's so young.
If Watson not even takes that next step, if Watson can stay on the field for 17 games, I don't know if you've seen this news story about him working on hamstrings.
Yeah.
Then I think the receiving core might be a little bit more formidable. But we're not talking about the Eagles or the Dolphins here. Relax, they're still young.
I agree with that.
Fourth and
That's
fifth
a-
round picks.
That's
how do you
fair
feel about
point.
the Jordan Love love? Do you feel like it's too much right now, or like
Not for the way he played, I guess. Like the back
Sure.
8 games of the season, he
He was
was
menace?
ranked number one. Ranked
Yeah,
number
he
one in
was
so
good.
many things.
Dude,
So-
and
do you love the love, or you were like, okay, let's
I'm
take
afraid
it
to
easy?
love.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
I
afraid
get
afraid to
that.
love.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Lil Wayne had a love.
I love good track.
Thank
I'm
you.
not gonna lie to you, man.
That's great.
Like for me, when it comes to the Packers, I said this 100 times on the show, and I'm sure Adrian loves it, and I'm sure it never hurts any less than the time before. But y'all should have beat the 49ers in the playoffs, 100%.
Why would you tell him that?
I'm not crying. You're crying.
In fact, that sounds too happy for how I feel right now.
That's
But
the worst. That is the
Like a
worst thing
fake
I've ever
cry.
heard. That is so
Yeah.
horrible. You need to use that every episode. It's so
I'm not crying. You're
It's
crying.
it's delightfully awful. Like I can't think of
yeah,
another word.
that's what
for
I
it.
was going for.
It's like The Room. Yeah, no. Okay, that's enough on Homer Hill and us. Because that's one thing that I always love and hate in the offseason is hearing people talk about your favorite team. It's
Okay.
never gets old.
Yeah. I thought that
Um,
was like a side tangent, but I understand.
long story short, Adrian, we're back to you, and I think you owe us something that makes you happy.
Aw.
I am happy. And actually, and I have to get the terminology here because this is what we've got in our bio. It's glad, mad, and sad. So it's happy,
Sure.
sad, or
You're
angry.
glad.
Right?
You're glad.
This is my glad. I am glad that the Commanders are a root-forable team again. So for so long, it's
Yeah.
so hard to root for the Commanders. That a terrible owner, like the head coach was washed or outdated, however you want to call it. They didn't really have a stable QB. Now they've got Josh Harris, who seems very likable as far as owners go. I know it's a collective that own. You got your new head coach,
He's
Dan
a goof,
Quinn.
though. Did you guys see the clip? Did you guys see the clip where he tries to shake Joe Buck's hand on accident? Like Joe
I
Buck
did
was
not.
like doing this. He was like doing this, and the guy thought he was going for a handshake. You guys gotta watch it after
That's
this.
delightful.
It's so
Yeah.
it's so delightful. It's so delightful.
It's funny at his expense, but it's delightful. And like you name me a clip that you saw that you liked of Dan Snyder.
Yeah,
I can't think of one.
No, 100%.
Dan Quinn, new head coach. Like Dan Quinn, really hope he succeeds. New quarterback in Jaden Daniels, super exciting prospect. Even Austin Eckler going there. I know that's a low key one, but like I hope he does well. He deserves to get
you
paid
gotta
when he
root for him,
didn't.
for sure.
Yeah, no more of these like I don't know what word is like. No more jabroni QBs there. I'm glad the Commanders are someone that we can root for again because I like good football, even when it's in my conference, preferably when it's not in my division. But I like good football, and so I want the Commanders to be.
Yeah, it brings me back about 12 years ago when RG3 came in. Everybody was really hype about that amazing rookie year. Obviously, it kind of trailed off due to injuries, but I completely agree with you. I think the Commanders, I think rookie quarterbacks as a whole kind of makes me happy just to see everybody out there. And the fact that we have, 5 first-round quarterbacks to kind of watch this season and potentially get some playing time and dissect and analyze and hate and love. It's awesome, man.
That's a really underrated one, Adrian. I like where your head's at. You went creative with it. I think that's a fun answer. I also, Jimmy, you're new to this discussion, but I'm currently taking applications for my off-season darling sleeper underrated team that I'm going to call out of nowhere, like I did with the Texans last year.
Are you still? Can I submit some?
Yeah, sure. The Commanders are very close.
Commanders going to be on that list.
Good. I like that.
Commanders are up there. The Patriots are. Adrian hates it, but the Patriots are.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand that.
They're contenders.
You will not. If they're good, you will not root for them.
But my point is that it has to be a team that people feel that way about because everybody felt that way about the Texans.
The Broncos.
Go out on a limb. Broncos for sure in contention.
I can't
feel
put
like
them there with Sean Payton.
I
don't
think I can say the Bears because they have expectations, right?
Steelers. The Steelers count?
No, if Russell Wilson's in the building, I'm not picking them.
The Fields could balance that out.
I hope he does. I hope
TJ Watt could handle him. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see. But
he gets sacked by TJ Watt once. It's fun. It's fun.
That's gonna be a fun discussion. But the Commanders are in contention, and that's a great call, Adrian, for sure. They're going to be plucky, I think.
Yeah, and they're so likable now. Like I just compared to even I know this sounds stupid, but even just like going back to the old their former Redskins name, like it's just like they're just a new team now. Like they seem more enjoyable. And what you said, plucky,
with a terrible name.
That's a pluck off. It's a pluck off.
All day.
Pluckable, baby.
I just hate their name. That's the only part of it that sucks. It's a terrible name. Jimmy, take it away. Yeah. You got to give us something that makes you sad or mad, I believe.
Mad. I think mad is the correct. We're not mad.
I am
This is a little
angry.
different. But
I am so angry.
this is an interesting way to coach. It's about a coach specifically, Mike McDaniels. Did you hear what he did with like his team meetings, things like that? So he's starting like a lot of his team meetings at the 24th minute every hour because that's how many years it's been since the Dolphins have won a playoff game. So the ways that makes me mad. Number one, drop the mic. So I think Kevin's upset, but
I can't cringe hard enough. That's the cringiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
One, cringy. Two, makes me mad just because the 24th minute. Like, imagine being a coach and having to wait like a couple more minutes because it's like 22. Like, that's just weird to me. Three, does it make you better or worse to have your team thinking about something like that throughout the entire offseason? Is that the best way to handle that situation, or is there another like do you really have to do the meeting thing? I don't know, but
It's such a weird unit.
It's very odd, and I heard that. Like I was like this whole week, I was like, "What's making me happy? What's happening? Making me mad?" I saw that, I was like, "That's kind of stupid." But yeah, it's a little different. But
I'm literally one of the like I love quirky stuff. I'm like into that whole culture, organization, spirituality, manifestation, visualization, yada yada. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. One of the corniest things I've ever heard in my life. And I feel like I should say, here, Mike McDaniel, this is that attention you just ordered. Like, I feel like that's what that is. Like, I don't feel like that's any sort of a next level mentality thing. Like, that is.
We're 4 minutes away now, by the way, from another meeting starting.
Yeah,
we are.
So we know.
3:20, yeah.
But you can't start now. Don't start now because it hasn't been 20 years.
No. Okay, let's sit here and wait.
It feels performative to me. Feels performative.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, good call.
And
wow.
that is dumb. That's dumb. And you know what? He's such a weird guy, Mike McDaniel. So like, you know, some of this stuff, it's like, is it genuine? Is it not? It probably is with him, but
I believe it. I do believe that there's probably a part of him that's being genuine.
No hate on him. I do like him.
It's a good coach, but I will hate on him for that.
Coach. Yeah, he's stupid. Fun. He's quirky. But
it's giving Jason Tatum texting Kobe Bryant after he died saying, "I got you today, big bro."
There was a meme of like Kobe texting back, be like Mavs in 6. And I was like, oh no.
That's what it's giving. I don't mean to, it's not what you think it is. But sometimes I've said it a million times on this show, you need things to galvanize you. The Bengals did it a couple of years ago in the playoffs with the whole selling tickets thing. Like sometimes you just need something to say us versus the world, even though it's really stupid. Go off, Mike McDaniels. If it works, it works.
Yeah, right. Like maybe.
But I told Adrian last week, Jimmy, that the Dolphins are a new person who are going to make the same old mistakes, Tame Impala style. I don't think they're going to. No. I don't think they're going to be any different next year. I would bet my life savings they don't win a playoff game.
Okay. Maybe Brian will take you up on that bet.
It's not.
I don't
want it to be one.
I'm sure for Money Mac, it would. My life savings would barely make a dent in his checking account. But
that's fair.
Anyways, that's Money Mac.
That's my
anyways.
Guy.
I kind of vented or ranted last time about things that made me glad and I guess sad.
You said that.
So I guess I have to tell you guys what makes me mad.
Don't the drop.
I am so angry.
Yeah. That is so bad. That's like Mike
Speaking
McDaniel's level bad.
Speaking of Armand's profile picture now.
I only played at 24 minutes.
Yep. I really, really thought I liked this player coming into the offseason. I liked them heading into last season. But every time I see a quote on social media from something that CJ Stroud says on a podcast, I get mad. I don't think CJ Stroud should have a media career. We literally said last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, that Micah Parsons went that route, and we were like, "Ooh, not everybody should have a podcast." And we're ones to talk, right? But not everybody should have a podcast. I think somebody needs to take away CJ Stroud's internet. Straight up. Like
send him back to dial up, so you have to wait for it to send before, he's got a minute.
Every time I hear a new quote about something CJ Stroud says on a podcast, I get more mad.
He said something about the Colts linebackers. I didn't really listen because I was like, whatever, but I forget. But he's been in the media a lot recently.
Yes, and Aaron Rodgers is not that good.
He did a top QBs.
Not in those words.
He did a top 5 QBs, and he didn't put Josh Allen on it.
Why would
That's-
you? I mean,
there's
he's
one
too
way to
good.
make
It's
Kevin
too
mad.
obvious to put him there.
But it's just like, and he put himself third. You know,
Yeah.
I need to see. I'm going to look up his list.
yeah, look up his list. It's terrible. Another thing he said is that if Matt Stafford played on the Aaron Rodgers Packers teams, that he would have more than one ring.
That's why is he saying stuff like this? Yeah, I see what you're saying. That just make me kind of mad.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like
Shut
where I
up.
would love to see the context, but I also don't want to listen to the
I
context.
really liked him before
Yeah.
this offseason, like a couple weeks ago. I really liked
Yeah.
him. And now I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Everybody, you know, I'm the last person to want to censor anybody. Everybody should
Hey,
say
no,
whatever
go
they
for
want
it,
to say.
man. Yeah, get
But
mad.
then
No,
I'll
hold on.
say shut up to you, though. Yeah.
Josh Allen is number 4 on his list.
He
Oh,
did
that's
it.
awkward.
He reduxed it. He reduxed it once
Alright.
he got public backlash.
Although
Did you
he's
not-
got
Can you do
Dak
that?
as number 5.
Did you not see his first draft?
I didn't see his first draft.
He did a first draft that was abysmal.
Pat, Lamar, myself, Josh Allen, Dak.
Nah, he reduxed it, bro.
Well, either way, I agree with everything you're saying because we shouted him out because like Michael Parsons tried to push. I
You
can't remember what
take
he was trying to
Eli
sell.
over Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, he was trying to sell that. That's right. It was Michael Parsons was trying to say that the East going into last season was the number 1 division in football going in, like as far as expectations go. And CJ Stroud tore him a new one, rightfully so. But I do agree with you. I think it's just sort of like, just don't get too big for your boots yet, man. It's been 1 year. People regress all the time, and statistically, he's got a bigger chance of regressing than he does improving because they don't often follow up a blowout rookie year like that with numbers. So I agree with you.
Oh yeah, he
just
chose
settle
Eli's
down a little.
career over Aaron Rodgers, which I guess is not a wrong take. That's not-
Yeah, the Eli thing, whatever. Like that's the thing that made me the least mad because I get saying you want 2 rings instead of 1 ring. I get that. Like that, whatever. You know.
But Aaron Rodgers is a surefire Hall of Famer. I think Eli's further down on that list.
Yeah, but Eli has 2
Okay,
rings and Rodgers
Yeah, I
has
know.
1.
I think Eli's still, yeah.
I see the point. The Eli debate is one we could do a whole podcast on the Eli debate. I actually like Eli personally. I think Eli's underrated.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. But his original list before he got backlash for not having Josh Allen was Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, himself, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and I thought
Right.
before last season Jalen Hurts was top 5, but I think he played his way out of it. You know,
Yeah,
For sure.
that
Yeah, he's not top
And as you guys know, I was one of the few people who had Lamar Jackson in the top 5 and Justin Herbert out, and I feel like that decision aged like cheese, blue cheese,
blue cheese.
not
Yeah.
bad
There's the
cheese.
victory. There's the victory. Love
It's like
Yeah.
wine.
lap around the block.
Round the yard. Okay, I've given you guys a couple of everything. I've emptied my clip, Adrian. Clip away.
I've got another mad one. You'll be shocked by that. And I need people to understand that this mad take is not Homer. All right, I understand it's going to sound Homer.
oh,
but
I
it's
know.
not Homer.
Get ready, Jimmy.
Because I've said this before.
He's
I've
coming for
ranted
the
about this.
Bears. Get ready.
Absolutely. All right. I have had enough. I've had enough of the Caleb Williams hype train and the Bears hype train. Like, do something first. There are lists.
Nick
Second.
Wright. Nick Wright.
There are
Don't talk
lists
about Nick
where
Wright. Don't. That makes me mad. Don't
Caleb
say
Williams
his name.
is ranked number 2 or 3 as a QB. He hasn't taken a snap yet, bro. Like, what are you talking about? How can you rank him
College snaps.
as 2 or 3 when he hasn't played in the NFL? How many prospects have come in hype that haven't converted to the NFL? He threw 7 straight interceptions at OTAs. I understand it is not the proper practice, but come on, man. Just turn it down. The dude he could be an absolute dude, but he could be an absolute dud. And I am mad because look, this is the homer in me. I personally see a lot of it show up on my feed because I look at it on NFC North stuff, but I just can't deal with it anymore. I can't deal with it. There wasn't this much hype around Trevor Lawrence, who I understand Caleb Williams is said to be a better prospect. But
Prince
look what
was
Trevor Lawrence
promised?
is. Yeah, he's kind of like, middle of the pack at the moment. So just
Yeah.
turn it down. That's all I'm saying. It's like we aren't there yet. We're not there to be ranking Caleb Williams or the Bears offense for that matter as top 5. That's it. Sorry, that makes me mad. Where's my fireball
I agree
drop?
with that.
Yeah, I can't
That-
be mad.
That's genuine rage.
I can't
That
disagree
was
with you.
genuine. That was the most mad I've ever seen him.
Adrian, Yeah, you got a clip when you say, "What the hell are you talking about, mate?" You got a clip
All right.
that.
I'll go. Let me write down the timestamp.
But that was pretty funny. But I gotta be honest, man. I'm like 60% agree with you and 40% give me all of it. Give me all
No.
of it. I'm here for it because you know what? The league's better when we have those kinds of stories. You know, the league's better because guess what, man? Look at Caitlin Clark. It doesn't always work out right away. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Imagine Caleb Williams starts out 0-3. Imagine the think pieces, the hit pieces, the are the Bears cursed stuff that's going to come out. But even worse, even crazier, imagine if he goes out and he's 3-0 and he balls out. This is why we love sports. We love narratives. We love stories. And these are abounding with this team.
Maybe it is the homer in me. Maybe it is a homer thing.
It's both. You got to. I'm not mad at it, bro. But that's the point. You have to hate them, bro. You have to hate them. Just like I hated when the Jets drafted Zach Wilson and when people were saying Mac Jones was the next Tom Brady, and I said they both suck, and people said I was an idiot. Look where we're at now.
This is the victory lap episode.
I know. I'm spicy. You guys awoke something in me.
Ooh.
Love it. All right, that's mine.
Jimmy, empty your clip, brother.
All right. So for happiness, I just have 43 days until College Football 25. The video game comes out.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
Hell yeah.
Another thing I'm happy for is more football in January. So with the 12-team playoff for college football, this is obviously college football related, but legit football, same category.
Yeah.
We're having a lot more football in January. There's going to be like every weekend is going to be something crazy, like college football semifinals, playoff wildcard weekend.
Not even just every weekend, every day.
Every day.
For a couple months.
Every day for the rest of our lives.
My bank account with these bets is just not ready.
It's going to skyrocket because you're going to win them all.
Oh, geez, I hope so because the NBA.
Put that positivity out there.
Yeah.
Just talk to your bookie. Yeah, make it happen.
I need to. My bookie is a busser at my restaurant who doesn't speak English.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. A lot of people
Marcy.
watch this. Stop. No. Oh, no.
He's amazing.
All right. So those are my two happy thoughts. A mad thought for me is the potential of no more chain gang. They're experimenting with some technology in the preseason that will do away with the chain gang. And I know like umpires in baseball, I think for maybe add some technology there because they suck. But chain gang, I mean, don't blame them for everything. That's not something we want fixed. We want to see them come out.
Yeah, we do.
Put it out and see
I like the excitement.
Regardless of the refs and stuff, they put the ball wherever they want anyway. So like maybe the technology will help there, but give me the chain gang. It's such a cool name.
It's
iconic.
Such a cool
vibe. It's iconic. Don't change that.
But I will say though, Jimmy, it's giving
what?
Let's go, come on, grandma, let's get you to bed vibes though. It is. You being like, oh no, please leave the giant ugly circular poles that people put in the middle of the field and walk down that have a 10-yard chain on them.
Remember when there were a group of 5 old guys coming out and measuring the ball? Come on, Jimmy. We're taking you to bed, Grandpa.
Never forget the index card. That will go down in history. The index card.
Oh my gosh.
Do you guys remember that?
It was in my room. Of course I do.
Who was it? Who was the ref that
were
did
the Packers involved? I don't know.
Adrian, there was a ref who was trying to determine whether or not the ball had broke the plane of the first down marker, and he used an index card.
Gene Steratore.
It was Gene Steratore. He slid
2017.
He slid the index card between the first down marker and the ball.
Was it the Dallas?
Wow.
Who else played? Dallas and Raiders, or Dallas and
Oakland. He's the rules expert now.
Rules guy now.
Yeah, he is.
Jimmy, you got anything else?
Not really. I think the no green in Brazil thing is weird with the Packers and Eagles, but that doesn't make me mad. Yeah.
Send two blue teams. Send 2 red teams. Why would you send 2 green teams if you didn't want us to wear green?
They're gonna get killed on the field, so I'm mad about that. Carry on. That's all I have to say.
That's not gonna be fun. I hope that doesn't happen.
It's not gonna be fun. That's why I'm mad. Yeah, it's fine.
Adrian, anything else in your clip?
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore my. I had a mad one about analytics, but it's boring. I am glad to have Jimmy Ray back on the show. That makes me very glad. I am glad that the Packers and Eagles are playing on an Australian Saturday for their kickoff game, which makes my life a lot easier. I'm in a new job. I can't bludge as easily. Shout out to my old boss for letting me do that. And I am sad, and I thought this would be a Jimmy Ray one. I'm sad Anthony Richardson, I know you mentioned it, but he's getting a little bit of shoulder concerns already. I want him for a full season. I need him for a full season. I need.
He'll be fine. He has a lot of time. My sources tell me he's fine. He'll be okay. He's just getting some rest.
I feel much better about it.
These sources are 70% accurate. He'll be fine. Remember the rap music that he's practicing to. That's
Of
gonna.
course. I didn't know that little nugget. Now that I do know that, I feel
Oh, the
significantly better.
surgery actually made his shoulder stronger because they put something in there that'll make it stronger. So he'll be fine.
Adamantium.
Yeah, what he said. Yeah,
Jimmy is
Raps better
literally
as well.
Jimmy is like literally like a guy rocking in a sane asylum, and he's like, Anthony Richardson is okay. He's practicing to his own rap music.
Andrew Luck's in the past.
First
Andrew Luck's in the
quarterback
past.
that's ever happened.
Don't go snowboarding, Anthony
No.
Richardson. Don't play basketball. You can't get 11 points in the NBA.
Dude,
Don't try it.
I love Anthony Richardson, and he's my dynasty quarterback, and I traded a first round pick for him. Please, he has to be okay.
He'll be fine, bro.
Amazing episode, you guys, and what a return, what a grand return for Jimmy Ray to the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, please subscribe to the Legit Football NFL podcast, legitfootball.com, daily newsletter, 5 to 6 headlines every single day, the most digestible, easiest way to get your NFL news. Follow us on all the social medias because I do a video every single day where I talk about the headlines. Or at least recite them. I used to talk about them. Now I just recite them. And it's really fun. We talk about them here. We have shenanigans. We have Armand and Titan Maximum acting a fool in the chat. Adrian, anything you want to say to the good people before we wrap this sucker up?
Nah, I love you.
We love you guys.
Join us everything. Join us on every platform.
Jimmy?
Most of our live viewers are on Twitter, so get over to YouTube.
Hell yeah. Jimmy, you got anything else?
I just love it here, man.
We love it. We love it. I always think about I've been doing weekly to-do lists, and I put Legit Football on there, and I'm like, this is like a hobby. We get to just talk football. It's like just getting coffee with some homies and chatting football. Like, this is the dream.
I literally had coffee for.
We'll have to do a drunk podcast. No,
me too. I can't, but y'all can.
Yeah.
I'll be really caffeinated. I'll be really.
There we go.
So you're
That
gonna
would
be a
be
designated
even
driver.
better.
Hey, 3 years sober in a couple days, guys. Woo-hoo.
Cheers.
Party.
Proud of you, bro.
Cheers to water.
Yeah. Hell yeah, love water. I've been out of
Love
water.
water.
I'm so dehydrated. It's
Water and
ridiculous.
coffee.
Is dry July a thing in America? Like, do you guys do dry July?
We do dry January.
Ah, okay.
July is
does
like
that.
the least dry.
Yeah,
It's
July
just
in
'cause
America
in
is
America.
booze
Yeah,
central because of the
we
4th.
Oh, that's
are
4th of
independent.
July, yeah.
Yeah.
We're independent.
Yeah. What a show. What a podcast. This has
What a
been
life.
the Legit Football NFL Emotional Roller Coaster podcast, and we are